Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers. Thank you. We have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed or whatever speed would make it easier. So, all right, hello. On today's episode, the Trump administration has shut down cybersecurity against Russia. Why the tariffs? Is Felonious Dump really that blind and stupid? I know you have the answer, but we're gonna look because anyway. And then we didn't get to it yesterday, so later on we will get to it today. And if you will excuse the term, we will be looking at Felonious Dump's, excuse the term, godawful astrology during the March 14th eclipse. Part 1. Because I can't get through all of it in one go. So anyway, hello. All right. Sorry, I got a little bit too much moisturizer on my hands. Okay. So we're going to start with, yeah, okie dokie, at 2 minutes in. So Felonious Dump has shut down cybersecurity against Russia. And Retelling Savoy said that according to The Guardian, the administration has declared that Russia is no longer a cyber threat. What impact will this have on U.S. cybersecurity, especially our electrical infrastructure and whatnot? Infuriating. Hello, Tammy. Dear Great Gussie, are you serious? Thank you. Hello, Heather. All right. What could go wrong? For what it is worth, it does feel like there are people at the NSA right now who are furious, absolutely livid. Lewis says, meanwhile, hundreds of professionals have stated otherwise. And says, yeah, right. Got a bridge for you to buy. Yeah. Amy Sanders says, they're no longer a cyber security threat because the door is open and they don't have to use tricks to get in. That's true. Whew. Thank you, Nettie. Design Media FX says, I lost 3 websites to Russians back in 2015 and 2016. The traffic from Russia was insane. Look now, barely talking about it. Hello, Debbie. What's odd here is it isn't as bad as I would think it would be. Very strange. I mean, to say we are disappointed is an understatement. But they have their plans to just let Russia do whatever they want. But there's an Ace of Swords here, which I would think, oh, wait a second, is that coming at us? But no, I've got a 10 of Cups here. This is happy democratic families. It's like, oh, are they coming against that? But then I've got the Strength card. And it ends with the weak MAGA being weaker. Well, we know they're not standing up. See, I don't understand how this could end well, but please. Eight of Cups. Yeah, they're Felonious Dump and his ilk they're walking away from the security of the country. Oh, Carolyn, thank you. Carolyn gifted 10 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just leave us wide open and weak. World, 6 of Swords. Actually, what it feels like is we're gonna bigger. It's like Russia isn't the main thing we have to worry about. It feels like there are other actors that are more of a danger to us because I from the energy I feel, for what it's worth, I don't know how Russia's even functioning at this point. So, That deck is gorgeous. Which one is it? Warrior Witch is asking. Let me move. It is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. The link is in the description box. I'm updating, right? I list what deck I use at the bottom of the questions, and I just updated it. So this kid says China started being aggressive to Australia recently. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Flying Without a Broom. Your color matching is on point. Miss Sarah would be proud. That poor long-suffering friend of mine. We've had protection in the past. Knight of Cups. Against the chaos. All right. Now, cybersecurity is being hemmed in. I've got massive budget cuts. There's a big suspension. Wheel of Fortune. So everything shifts. But then I have an Ace of Cups. It's like a new start, a new rise of Democrat-leaning cyber people. I don't know what this is, but I just keep getting something, either the Democrats themselves getting in the way or Democrats organizing something or liberal-leaning hackers in the US or something. That's interesting. I'm glad I'm not getting the Tower. So let's just hope. Libby says, "What is a fire cat?" Did I misspeak? I didn't say it on purpose. So, Retelling Savoy says, "Is it the American tech people like Microsoft, Google, etc.?" That would make sense. Of course it is, because they're the only ones left with money. Because we had the MAGA victory, then they are shutting everything down, quiet as a tomb. And it ends in the 5 of Pentacles, which is being out in the cold and poverty-stricken and disease-ridden, like viruses. But right in the middle, I've got strength, and that is the people who have the money. So the good news is I'm not feeling the worst of the worst. So, man. Okay. Raymond says walls have no use when the enemy's within. Ain't that the truth? Mr. Dill says Microsoft just unveiled a quantum chip. Oh yeah, I watched a video about that. Very exciting. It's not practical yet, but it will be eventually. The upshot that I heard, because I just want to pass on something interesting to you. We can get out of that energy for just a minute. The way it was described was, if you have a maze, like a puzzle on a piece of paper, you've got a maze, and you come in this side and you're supposed to go out that side. And normally with normal computers, they will just keep trying the different paths, one after the other, until they find the way through and out the other side. Because of quantum uncertainty and all of this, technically, you can think of it as when you start the same maze, the quantum computer tries all of the paths simultaneously. It isn't just happening one by one super, super quickly. Apparently, it just goes whoa, and comes out the other side. So that's how it was explained to me. So there is so much coming. There is so much coming. So, all right. So TJ had a question, and we shouldn't have to ask this. This shouldn't be an issue, but it is now. TJ says, got a feeling that tariffs are intended to hurt the U.S., so 47 can blame allies and gather support to annex or expand the border. He knows support is not there right now. Is this a Project 2025 plan? That I don't know. I have not sat down with Project 2025. I've heard people talking about it, but I don't know exactly. I can't bring myself to sit down and start breaking it all down into what they're going to do, because it's just so disheartening. And I spend time every single day in this energy. But we can look at, is Felonious Dump, is he just going along with what other people are telling him? Some, at best, misguided, at worst, treasonous undermining of our country with these stupid tariffs. And I know what we think of him. I am calling him Felonious Dump. Donald J. for Genius Trump. Yeah. But really? Is he just that, yeah, whatever, it sounds good? Or is he actually trying to undermine the U.S.? Raymond says, do you remember when your salary could afford rent and groceries? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Oh, I love that, Raymond. You're a national treasure. You really are. Democrats. I've got Democrats and justice, the legal system here for the reading. So this is kind of hanging there. So perhaps they can step in or stop something, the worst of the worst. But the cards themselves are pathetic. Ten of Swords. It's a burden. It's a burden on us. It's a burden. Yeah. Six. So 10 of Wands. Those are their policies, the burden of their policies. Six of Swords. 9 of Wands. Page of Cups. Page of Wands. Normally pages are either a young person, or with a lot of this political stuff, it's weakness. Or perhaps sometimes it's you don't have to put in a lot of effort to get something done. But these are both pages. Because these stupid ideas, that and the terrifying legal immigrants in this country. There are many, many legal immigrants who aren't going to work, who aren't doing the jobs. Amy Albert says Wands. Hope's asking, are we headed for a world war this year? I haven't picked up anything like that. But do leave your questions in the chat before I come on. I'm always looking for good questions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this is just painful and awful and myopic. But I don't have any major arcana here. I think he's just, this is a man who had 6 bankruptcies. I think he's just that stupid. He's just that bad of a business person. He's that bad with money. I'll show you something when we look at the astrology on March 4th for Trump. Let me point something out in his chart that not many people talk about. TJ says, so it's not a master plan. He's just throwing stuff at the wall. He's listening to... okay. Reagan was all about trickle down economics, which doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work. We've seen it over and over. It doesn't work. But they still push it. They always have an excuse. March 14th. I'm sorry. Did I say the wrong date? March 14th is what I meant. Thank you, Chris Cool. But they keep pushing the Republicans. They always have an excuse why it didn't work. And it didn't work because of this one-time thing. Otherwise, it'll work all the time. Oh, well, it didn't work there because, or I don't want to talk about it. But they keep pushing it. Well, now Trump is so transactional, so painfully small-minded and transactional that anything the U.S. is paying for, he doesn't want us paying for anything because he doesn't pay. He stiffed his own contractors how many times? Shouldn't have to pay for anything because somehow he will find a way to make sure more money goes into his pocket. That's all he's thinking about. And if anybody's letting anything in, it doesn't matter. They're just, we're going to punish you. He's also a sadist. And I'm not saying that lightly. I mean that quite literally. He gets off on watching people fight, on watching people in pain. Seriously. So, okay. So on the 4th, so in 2 days, I often will go live when there's something big going on. I'll come on in the evening, or there's not a chance that the State of the Union told by Felonious Dump is going to be broadcast through this channel. That's not happening. There's no way. I'm not watching it. I'm not sharing it. It is going to be lies. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to, no doubt, be twisted, racist, misogynistic, vile. And behind him, you're going to have 2 Republicans, including Speaker Johnson, the heretic. Not a chance. Nope, no way. But the question here from Lisa is, Trump is set to address a joint session of Congress on March 4th. How will it go? Will Trump be booed? Will Democrats walk out? Or will the speech be given by President Musk? President Muck or Musk? There we go. Chris Cool was pointing out in the first year of a new president's term, the State of the Union is optional. Given the current White House energy, will Felonious 45 even be brave enough to do a State of the Union? Oh, I think he's looking forward to it. He's going to have half the room just jumping up and you're the greatest and you're the greatest. Oh, don't forget, Speaker Mikey, the heretic, he is publicly saying that Democrats need to be respectful. They need to be quiet and respectful and clap when they should. It's your side who started the whole, you lie. And then Marjorie Trader Greene acting like being a heckler. It's not our side that's done that stuff. You jerk. So, yeah. Patty Radish is saying Trump will never pass up a chance to be on TV. Agreed. So, well, it's in front of the country. That's the last card. Actually, all I'm getting is anything. Well, not that he's going to be arrested, but the part of Miranda rights, anything you say can be held against you. And I know it's in a court of law. It's not legal, but I'm getting the anything. Yeah, what he's saying in this will be held against him in the future. I wish it was legally, but yeah. Okay, card for the reading. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think Democrats are going to watch. I really don't. I think the ratings are not going to be good at all. Doing other stuff. Anything. Like a sock drawer to organize. His goons will be there. I don't know exactly, but if you know Tom Homan and his jackboots and Muck and the Muckarettes. Oh, Mr. Dill, thank you so much. Thank you. 10 of Pentacles. That's his dynasty, his legacy. 7 of Pentacles. Fruits of labor, but 9 of Wands. So that's where it starts. The stuff he says, stuff he's been doing will be held against him in future. And then it just ends with the country. And I mean, what it comes down to is if they're serious about shrinking the size of the government, about balancing the budget, then stop corporate welfare. Billions upon billions of dollars going to companies that currently have record profits. It's not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. That's the reality. If you really wanted to do that, if you really wanted to save money, you could just start there. But no, the super rich have to have all their money. So, and the cruelty, he'll probably give Tom Homan an award. They have to get extra the award and then 2 mini awards for each of his jackboots. Thank you, Amy. Gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. So, his legacy, yeah, what he's doing with the money, he'll be held accountable. Yeah, so it's just, who? I don't know him. Veronica Johannes says, drain the POTUS entertainment swamp. No more golf. Oh, please. Please, please, please. That's what... Okay, I'm being derailed because I get drawn to certain things. I'm sorry. Okay, at 2540, because I've got a follow-up, will Democrats take control of one or both houses of Congress? I'm trying to twist, I can't type quite as quickly, after the 2026 midterm elections. I'm going to check that, because if Congress is holding the purse strings, why don't they cut Dumpy's allowance? Seriously. Cut Dumpy's allowance. But let's see. Hello, Jennifer. All right. Midterm elections. So January 2027. Who takes control of the House and the Senate? Democrats or Republicans or MAGA? Democrats, Republicans. Ooh, look, now I think that's good. I'm asking, how this will go overall, and I'm getting 10 of cups. I get, for years now, I've been getting my cards split out so that cups are Democrats, pentacles are Republicans, and wands are MAGA. Why? It just is. So that's the card for the reading. How will Democrats do? Well, right now, Republicans have the power. But then it goes Queen of Cups. And I don't know why, but queens for me are often like a group. I don't know why. So this would be that they think they're set, they've got what they need. No, this is where it ends. It ends with a lot of Democrats getting in. So is that not as good for Republicans? So then I've got 3 cards here for the Republicans. Worry, sleepless worry. Queen of Swords, King of Swords. It's their policies coming back to bite them. Could be some legal matters, but this is a mess. If you're running for office and you asked me to pull cards for you, I don't do personal readings, but if you asked me, we were friends or something, and you asked me to pull cards for you, and you were running for office, and I pulled these, I'd say, are you trying to become an AG? No, you're going to become you want to become a representative or a senator? Maybe focus on illegality, because that's not good. But if you're a Democrat and you come to me and you say, I want to be a representative or a senator, it's like, well, you've got to, they're convinced that they've got the power, but boy, this is a whole lot of Democratic energy there. So right now the energy is pretty good. Fingers crossed. So the following question at 30 minutes in, will Congress cut Trump's dumpster fires allowance So we don't have to pay for all of his golf trips. Hello, Linda. Cindy Poole says, yes, go Dems. Jeffries is asleep at the wheel, but we may have a chance. There we go. True, Bernadette. Self-aware, he ain't. I think we need to push this idea. Get this idea out there. Spread it. Hasn't he literally spent a third of his time golfing? Since he got into office like 5 weeks ago? Right, Keiko. Make him fund his own vacations. And that's the thing, because if you stop paying for him to be golfing, you stop paying for the security for that, he'd have to pay for it himself. He'd pitch a fit. You know he would. He'd lose his little teeny tiny mind. I do have the government right in the middle. So right now we've got the Knight of Wands. We know how many MAGA are, yeah. Mm-hmm. Two of Wands again, MAGA. But group of legislators, maybe. There's the government. There's the institution right in the center, feeling beaten up. Because this could become a thing. And it ends with the King of Swords. So again, King and Queen of Swords, there could be some legislation here. Because going on and on and on about saving money for the government, start pushing how much money he has spent golfing. Let's cut that. He can spend more time in the White House, where there's a lot of security. Tiger Sephorley says, I hate this timeline. I know. I know. Jennifer Parr says, yes, please that. Exactly. Wani Mo says he makes money off of Secret Service accommodations at his hotel every time he goes golfing. That's clearly a conflict. Absolutely. Beastman says, do a weekly meme. There we go. All right. So God King Tony Clifton asked a question. 34 minutes in. So, God King Tony Clifton, Your Majesty, this asked, the State Department has terminated the ongoing restoration of Ukraine's energy grid, which was one of the USAID initiatives that Musk torpedoed, because of course. Will NATO be able to step in and resume the restoration process? Feels like yes, but let me pull some cards. Tiger Sephorley says time is slowed to a snail's crawl once again. I mean, it is March, but I know what you mean. These last 5 weeks feel like a year. So, Ukraine's energy grid. Sorry about the noise in the background. Ukraine's energy grid. It's a mess. I think they are going to get help. I mean, the card for the reading is a sword of truth, but it's also the cut. So 9 of Wands, King of Pentacles. The executive should not be able to torpedo money that was assigned by Congress, who has the power of the purse. But Speaker Mikey, yeah, let them do whatever they want. Then that lazy toad, he can just sit back. But, all right, awful policies. Destruction, disappointment. And they fixed it, and there's bombings. They fixed it, and because the thing about electrical grids is once you know more about them, you find out that it isn't a matter of, oh, well, I've got a wire from here to there and I turn it on or off. No, it has to do with how much energy is in the system, and it has to get to a certain point or the whole system collapses again. But that is cleaning that up eventually. It just mainly what I'm getting is just the chaos of the situation. Europe definitely wants to help. There's some money coming forward because Ukraine is a fledgling democracy, and I know they've had voting before, but they got rid of this awful, really, really corrupt people, and this is finding that balance. So that's good. That's good. All right. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Hello, Veronica. All right. So the next question was about the bruise on the back of Dumpy's hand at 3820. Cosmic Goat Lady at 3830. Cosmic Goat Lady was asking, is Trump getting a B complex or vitamin IV with his bruised hand or iron or something? That is what I think it is. We talked about this last night at Patreon, I believe, didn't we? And somebody was saying, well, no, he's got makeup on his hand. Well, he's got makeup on his hand covering a bruise, and his makeup is so orange, and you put it over a blue bruise, and you get that sickly green color. He's getting something intravenous. Amy says, yes, we did. There we go. He's getting something intravenous. And yeah, technically, you should be able to get something in your arm, and it wouldn't be visible, but his veins aren't exactly in excellent shape. So was it just to stop him from being dehydrated and get his B vitamins and all of that? Because it comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes. So this is a regular thing. Burnett Smith, Diet Coke. Mm-hmm. Whew. One moment. Where is it? There we go. Entertainment only, YouTube. This ends with, whew, like so much energy, let's do the thing and let's send out posts in all caps. So yeah, I think he's getting something intravenous. Yeah, his system, not good. No. The first card I'm getting is disease. And that isn't necessarily something acute. It could just very well be one of the many diseases of aging and having lived on fast food and stress and drinking. I've even made graphics, but I can't remember off the top of my head. How many Diet Cokes does he drink a day? All that acid constantly? Not good. Oh, 10 of Swords. That's very loud and aggressive. King of Swords. 6 of Swords. And then 2 cards came out for the end. The Chariot and the 9 of Swords. There's a whole lot of... I mean, if you look at this, there's a lot of speed. And then traveling with him, and then... Yeah, this is not... not good. Last night during Patreon, one of the things I did was pull out an astrology book that was written in it was written in 1939. So it was published in 1940. So the U.S. wasn't even in the war yet, but we knew what was going on. We could see it. People were talking about it, and people were disgusted by the man with the ugly mustache. We all know what happened to him as the war went on, where he was paranoid to begin with, and then the doctors were like, "Oh, you should just take this, and this. You'll feel so much better." And it's like, "Oh wow, now I can stay up." And the Luftwaffe, the pilots were taking all this stuff to keep them awake. That was not good. And we know through his own mouth that Muck has taken all kinds of crazy stuff. These people, they're not well. And then you get Hog's Breath, who drinks like a fish. Sobriety is not a virtue to these people, in whatever form that takes. Thank you, Amy. So, but we're not gonna find out until years later, because there will come a point where some of his medical records are going to be released after he's gone. Someday we'll know. We'll hear. We'll be like, "Oh, jeez, yeah, that explains a lot." That's what I've picked up for a long time. True, and moderation isn't a virtue. True. So, it doesn't have to be anything as something for the little people, like METH type things. No. Prescriptions that can, that too. So, yeah. Okay. So I've got more questions here. I will roll over to tomorrow because I want to make certain we get to part 1 of all of that astrology work, so that you have some idea, because March 14th is coming up and it looks awful for Felonious Dump. Would you like me to tell you what it's saying? Okay, let me make a note of the time. Okay. So let me go in here. Now this is just a part 1. So I didn't bring like the whole thing. I've got 3 slides and I didn't have time to put arrows in, but okay. So we will start with all right, let's start with this one randomly. Ta-da! Okay, it's like, what the heck is that? And I've got to move over. Well, I can that way? That way. No, I just have to move over. This fell apart. The camera's falling. The camera's like, no. Okay, there we go. Hi. Okay, so this is one of the many things happening on March 14th. I'll move this a little bit closer. One of the things that happening is that Dumpy here, he's got his midheaven in Taurus, all right? And when I make images for the midheaven, like, what does that mean? Because it's the beginning of the 10th house of Capricorn, which is about hierarchy. It's about climbing the corporate ladder, the aristocracy, everybody, that whole energy. And so your midheaven has to do with your career, whether you're going to go up in life, how you're going to do that, what area you should focus on in order to have a come up in life. And his is in Taurus, which is in Taurus. This is the second house. It's the first earth sign. I show it as a lot of. Pimda says, need lessons from Sarah? What do you mean? Yes. Yeah, there's a lot going on the 14th. Yes. So what the images I've created to show like the meaning, like when I show Aries, it's like a battlefield. And the different planets are like different archetypes within that. Taurus I show as a farm village. It's very practical. It's very earthy. It's very much growing. Sneaking around the overlays. Yes. So this kind of practicality, and then I show the images as if whatever it is on top of a skyscraper. That's how I've been creating images to show the rough meaning for visual learners on what this means. Now, so this is normal for him, and it's earth sign. He's a builder. He's a screaming materialist. Okay, fine. One of the things that's happening though on the 14th is that Uranus is transiting over his midheaven. Now, Uranus in Taurus, instead of being like Mars in Taurus is a farmer, Uranus in Taurus, Uranus is technology and all of that. So I picture it as like a crypto farmer. That's Uranus in Taurus, just in general. But when you have these transiting planets, a lot of the time they're almost a more pure archetype of their meaning, their base meaning. So Uranus is beautifully weird, bolts out of the blue. This is my image for Uranus. That's an archetype for Uranus in Taurus, but really this is Uranus. There's it rules Uranus rules Aquarius. So you've got all of the freedom fighting, the technology, the humanitarianism, in the sense of everyone gets the same amount. It's community, it's all of this. But Uranus is the unexpected, absolute unexpected. So having Uranus floating over Trump's midheaven is going to cause some bolts out of the blue. It did craziness. He actually has Uranus almost in the same place as his sun. It's in blue down there, which is why he loves chaos. He loves creating chaos. He's a chaos agent. Well, Uranus in the sky is going over his place in the world. Back in the day when women got married hundreds of years ago, they'd look at the astrology, or they'd go to an astrologer and say, well, when will I marry? Back then, they didn't look over here at, like, straight down from here at the 7th house, like partnerships, what have you, like we do today. No. For a woman, they looked straight up here because it would change her status. So very, very unexpected energy right there. That's one of the things happening on March 14th to Trump. All right, so we'll go on to the second thing, which is, no, I don't have this image made, but basically his Mercury, how you communicate, his Mercury is in Cancer. All right. Mercury, we've all talked about it, how it's how you communicate, it's and what have you. But Cancer here is a water sign. I show it as like a seaside village because you've got all the water sign, all the emotion. It's the sign of, it's ruled by the moon, and it's big mom of the zodiac. But because his Mercury is there and because he misuses it, this, which not a lot of people talk about, his Mercury being in Cancer, is his emotional manipulation. And we know he does that a lot. Well, Mercury and Venus in the sky are going to be in Aries. And that's, as I said earlier, it's kind of like the battlefield. And that's at 90 degrees from this Mercury, Venus, it's 90 degrees from his, which means there's friction there. Because this Mercury that is the archetype is the battlefield messenger. And Venus, these two, they are brave, and it's a fire sign. It's active. It's the first sign. They are first on the battlefield. That doesn't do anything with Trump. They are forward and brave and active and heroic. Everything that he's not. So the general energy going around is going to be this straightforward, brave energy. And what's coming out of his mouth is going to grate against that. Like, you're just going to say the same old thing, trying to emotionally manipulate people. Yeah, we have more important things going on. Yeah, so Cindy Post is not afraid of confrontation. Oh, Aries? Oh, absolutely. So Cindy Post says, yep, describing me. So this is the second thing that's going to be going on. All right, and then I've got a third thing, and I'll get to part 2 tomorrow because we haven't even gotten to the eclipse yet. So we go here, and the third thing is this. All right, the thing in red is the eclipse, and that's a preview of what's coming tomorrow, because Dumpy was born during an eclipse. So his sun is up here, his moon is down here. They're opposite each other. So they're constantly interacting. That energy is constantly back and forth, back and forth. This eclipse it's a lunar eclipse. So again, it's not a conjunction of the sun and the moon. They're opposite. Well, where they are falling is exactly square to his sun and moon. The sun and moon in the sky are going to be, and not only is it that grinding energy of a 90-degree angle, but you get the oppositions, the whole thing. And when you get something that looks like that big red thing, it's called a grand cross. And it is not pleasant at all. But that isn't even, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. The one thing that in theory might help him, but he has to not misuse the energy, is Trump is a Gemini. And these images, actually, this is all in Gemini. And I'm showing Gemini as almost like it's a newspaper, because it's all about the communication, local travel, just lots and lots of information, processing lots of information. And so Trump has his, when Gemini goes bad, two-faced sun in the same place as chaos agent Uranus. These are in his chart. He has these two. He has these two in the same place. All right? That's Dumpy. What's transiting, what's going past is Jupiter. Hello, Jupiter. Right here. And Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. And it is big and expansive, and it can be very, very lucky, which is part of Trump's own Jupiter down here is in good aspect to his sun and moon, which is why he's so lucky. Part of why he's so lucky. But Jupiter can also be a big blowhard and promise a lot more than it can deliver. And it can give you optimism. It can give you over optimism. And it is on the 14th, it is coming up to be in the same place as not only Trump's sun, his sense of self, which is already bloated and overblown and puffy, but his Uranus as well. So his own chaos agency. So this Jupiter is going to blow all this energy. It's going to expand it. It's going to make it bigger. So he's going to get a big head, and he could very much overstep. But it's one of the few things happening on this day that if he could use the energy every once in a while, he can use the energy for his own good, but not always. So if he uses this energy well, this particular thing may give him some luck. But if he doesn't, if he lets his ego off the hook and his chaos agent energy off the hook, it will just expand and expand and expand and expand. And he will overstep, and it will be bad for him. And this thing is also, it's a little ways back, but anything that's going to set off his sun is, in theory, going to set off his moon, because they're attached, basically, or related. But this could set off a lot of other stuff too. So this is the one of the few things that could potentially be good, or it could be bad. All right. Chris Cole's asking, how close is Algol to the mess on the 14th? Algol, to the best of my memory, is at the end of... Algol is at the end of Leo. It's near his ascendant, whereas his Mars and ascendant are, which is part of why he's so awful. So anyway, so this is what I wanted to share with you. That this is part 1. 3 things, just 3, because there's more. Just 3 things that are happening on March 14th to Trump's chart. All this energy out of the blue on his midheaven, the status, his mealy-mouthed, emotionally manipulative garbage, not working super well with, like, read the room. And he's going to be completely off on reading the room. And then this, which will expand something, either his ego beyond comprehension, or might give him a little bit of luck. So we'll see. All right. So that is it. And that is going to do it for me for today. Thank you for your patience. All right. So yeah, that is that. I hope the images are helping. I hope the archetypes are helping. All right. Yeah. So anyway, it's Sarah's day off. So at 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. You're always welcome. We just want to encourage you on whatever your project, what you're trying to achieve. We just want to encourage you. Other than that, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm always here. Lois, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. You are the light. Thank you. That's very sweet. All right. So please remember, you are not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. There really are. So hang in there, and I will see you later. All right. Take care. Take care. Take care.